So after we finished the Petra, the next big accomplishment to come was finally getting a religion. As I said in the last video, I was already very late and a lot of other civilizations um, founded their religion, so it was already late to get a religion. And fast forward, here we go. We had enough religion points in order to create a great prophet, and with the help of the great prophet we founded the religion of Catholicism. I'm sorry, I'm not really faithful, but I used to be Catholic. I'm sorry if I offend someone, but now I am an atheist, but well, I still stick to my origins, so Catholicism. And as you see here, I mean, you can now decide for two trades. In the first trade I took additional money, which is okay, but in the second trade, unfortunately, the really good ones, like building a pagoda or building cathedrals with faith, they are all gone. So in my opinion, those are really important trades. They're really important for the whole game outcome, but they were already gone. I decided for creating a Swift Petra. Maybe a mistake, but now I had to decide another trade. And I'm really not sure what to pick. All the rest I see here is not really good. So I took the extra production and I hope it works out that way. So after I finished the Petra project and after researching all the low-level technologies, I had to find or decide for a new route what I wanted to research. There are some interesting ones like theology, but personally I really like also the chivalry technology, because not because of the knights, they are a powerful military unit, but because within the same research field we also get the Alhambra, and it boosts the culture output of a city by 20%. Now back to the game. A bit before I finished the National College, and as you can see, I started the Hanging Gardens. For starting the Hanging Gardens you need to enter the tradition tree, and I was a bit scared about doing and starting the Hanging Gardens because it was already very late, so I really had a high risk that someone would steal the Hanging Gardens. I can tell you in the end I will get the Hanging Gardens, but usually I hate if this happens, but if someone would have stolen the Hanging Gardens at this point, I would have to load and repeat a lot of turns. But in this case I was lucky and nothing happened. On the other hand, you see in my town Krakow, I started creating a new settler, and my strategy now changes a bit, because now my plan is to expand very fast. So the location where I want to create a new city is of course the spot if you follow down the river to the coast, because there is a really nice spot with 3 luxury tiles, and even after that I plan to build an additional settler. So I think the most important part now is to expand and to deny the enemies the possibility to grow faster than you do. The danger about expanding fast is that the enemies, of course, they have huge advantages. Like I said, the artificial intelligence cheats a lot, and they just somehow, I don't know how this works, but they can create huge enormous armies with like 30 or 40 units, and while growing and expanding. And as you see, I have 2 units at the moment, so what I'm doing is really risky. I really pump everything into expansion and into upgrading the city, and I basically don't have an army at all. By the way, maybe you noticed the side of the screen a second before. Really unfortunate for me, and I realized it also a bit too late. I should have reloaded because the city-states declared war on me. That's not really a problem. They don't pose a threat or anything, and they didn't give me any benefits. Still annoying. If you don't know why they declared war on me, the reason for that is that Alexander um, went into an alliance with them, and basically that's one of Alexander's traits, that he aligns with city-states. He does it very often, and he's like, I think he's one of, actually he's similar to that in that regard to Austria. Austria also likes to hang out with city-states, but that's not really a problem. It might get a bit problematic later on when diplomacy plays a bit more of a role. But the problem is that I had a caravan which I had sent to the city-states, and it was expensive to build and it produced a lot of money for me. But 1 second, you don't pay attention, and now it's gone. Anyways, it's not the time to be sad. As you see in the bottom right corner, I created my third city, and like I said before, it's actually a pretty good spot. It has 3 reachable luxury tiles, is close to the coast, has 1 fish tile, and I'm pretty satisfied with this spot. I talked about expansion before, and as you see, the next settler, the 4th settler, is already on its way. When you look a bit down, you maybe saw it for a quick moment. There is a long land tongue, and actually I want to create a channel city crossing this land tongue, so that later in the game, when we have ships available, I can cross this naval this land tongue by ship. Fast forward, so here we are. As you see, there is even a luxury tile, spices. I didn't have this one before, so actually that's great. And if you take a look at the scoreboard now, I climbed really a lot. Now this is not due to the expansion, of course the expansion plays a role, but the major factor are the amounts of world wonders I collected in the last couple of turns. Now don't get confused by the scoreboard. Still, if any of the civilizations, even if it's Alexander or Austria, attacks me, they will completely demolish me. And the reason for that is that, like I said before, I only have 2 units, so my army is very tiny. I really play with the fire, so if someone declares war on me now, I have no way to defend, and basically I have lost the game. Of course, if this would happen now, I would have the chance to reload some turns before and build a small army, but if you have to create army that early in the game and really go into a material war, then it's really hard to keep track with the nations and civilizations which are already very high in the scoreboard. So I think I really did a good thing when I harassed Alexander in the early game, because I think that's the reason why he didn't attack me yet. So I think he got weakened, his army's not that strong, he couldn't scout a lot, so I really think what I did there worked, and hopefully he will spare me a bit more so that I can expand and focus on growth instead of military. So even though I feared that someone might steal the Hanging Gardens, it didn't happen, and I just completed the Hanging Gardens. So it's a great upgrade, and if you look once again into the scoreboards, because of the amount of world wonders, I climbed to the second spot. So if you want to know if I can compete with the rank 1 guy, then you have to keep watching. See you in the next part.